Hey, it's Paris. You know I love sparkly things, right? Like stars. Duh. And thanks to Hilton and AutoCamp, I just slept under them. Picture me, serving looks by the fire outside my luxurious Airstream, making s'mores with the kids, while a national park is our backdrop. The great outdoors meets Hilton hospitality. That's hot. Explore all the new ways to stay at Hilton.com. Hilton for the stay.
The McDonald's snack wrap is back. You brought it back. Ranch snack wrap. Spicy snack wrap. You broke the internet for a snack. Snack wrap is back. Ba-da-ba-ba-ba.
With a major selection of the looks your kiddos love, starting at just $4 in the Walmart app, a new school year means a stylish new them. Who knew? Find skater skirts and Crocs that say, I'm casual but cool. Sparkly sneakers that say, it's my classroom, you're just learning in it. And preppy polos that say, I'm the teacher's pet, even if they're mommy's menace at home. Find their favorite styles starting at just $4 in the app. The Walmart you thought you knew is now new.
What a long, strange trip it's been. After 4 weeks of bad puns, bad CGI, gratuitous cameos, and more Star Wars puns than Patton Oswalt doing stand-up, we have reached the very end of the road. And what better way to celebrate Shark Week than to give this nado one last spin? It's time to see if the last Sharknado, It's About Time, is not that bad. Welcome, one and all to It's Not That Bad, the podcast that looks for A grades in B movies and a proud member of the Pantheon Podcast Network. Hello to all of our listeners in Rotterdam in the Netherlands and around the world. How are you guys doing? It's Shark Week, which means our journey comes to an end this week. For 4 straight episodes, we have dealt in the world of Sharknado. As only this podcast can, trying to find the good things to say about one of the most unique franchises that's ever hit the screens. And here to join me to say adieu to this franchise, my lovely wife, Carrie. Carrie, how are you doing?
I'm doing fantastic, but I just hope that it never comes down to you carrying around my head in a bag. I hope we never get there.
I'm going to say this now, and I know any of our listeners who are also wrestling fans are going to get the reference to this. Yeah, Ian Ziering's running around this film like frickin' Al Snow with a mannequin head. You have to be of a certain age, a certain vintage to get that wrestling reference, but here we are.
But she was a very useful head in a bag.
Got my head in a bag.
She served a purpose. April as a head in a bag was...
Step 1, put your head in a bag.
Oh no, we just took a dark turn.
This is a very, very, very dark turn.
Well, this movie is all about time warping, so let's just, go back in time to before you said that. So.
Nope, no, it's out there. It stays on the record. The things we say in this show are here to destroy all of your AI models that are being trained on it. You're welcome. We're going to be the ones that stop Cyberdyne with this show. But it's time. It's time to end our journey with the 6th installment of the Sharknado franchise, the last Sharknado. But before we do, we have to take this film and trailerize it.
The end is nigh. Humanity has fallen. Now, shark-slaying superhero Finn Shepard has one option left. Go back in time to stop the first Sharknado from ever happening. No. Not stop the first Sharknado film from happening. That would be too easy. Like a Timu Marty McFly, he's going back in time for one last excellent shark venture to flashpoint his way to a future without Sharknadoes. Along the way, he'll re-team with his Sharkvengers as they reach for the end game of the best, worst thing to ever happen to TV. Weep not for the ending, but smile because it happened. For the 6th and final time, Ian Ziering stars in The Last Sharknado, It's About Time. Rated TV for Time Variant Shark Authority.
There were 2 points. The Sharkvengers and the Timu
Marty McFly.
Marty McFly. Oh, I have tears.
Right.
Trying to hold back the laugh.
Oh, go on. And I got the Loki reference in there too, with the Time Variant Shark Authority.
Fair, yes.
Right. Yeah. If you haven't realized by listening to the show, I'm a geek. I'm a straight up geek. I'm going to geek all over this. That's what I do. That's what we do here.
You were about as obvious as Dee Snider with his drop-in lyrics.
Well, when you have Dee Snider in your cameo list, you must go down that road.
God, he was so good, wasn't he?
You know what's funny? The film that he directed, and Strangeland, it qualifies. And I wouldn't mind covering that one, because if I remember correctly, that actually wasn't a bad film at all.
Is he in it or he directed
No,
it?
he directed it. I think he's in it too, but I know for a fact he directed it.
He's a good actor. Like, you know what?
Yeah.
I would love to see more of Dee Snider because he just has that presence. He freaking owned
Oh, hells yeah.
as the sheriff.
All right, well, let's get into who is in this film. The movie stars, as always, Ian Ziering, Tara Reid, and Cassie Serbo. Also, returning from Sharknado 2, Judah Friedlander and Vivica A. Fox. Now, we got a young Nova in this movie, played by Katerina Serbo, who is actually Cassie Serbo's niece.
Oh, how cute is that?
Now, we also had 2 versions of Judah Friedlander, one who was very, very female. That was Deborah Wilson. Chuck Hittinger actually returns from the very first Sharknado to replay Matt Shepard, taking over the role that was played by Cody Lindley. Also returning, Ryan Newman, Gary Busey, Bo Derek, Mark McGrath, and Maciela Lucia. Now, you also notice John Hurd was in this film. He had passed away around the time of Sharknado 5, so all the scenes with him in it were taken from the first Sharknado. They were put in to pay homage to him and what he did for that very first film.
I love that.
Oh, I do. I absolutely love that. As always, can't have a Sharknado film without the cameos, and there's a ton here, including Neil deGrasse Tyson, Alaska from RuPaul's Drag Race, Marina Sirtis, that's right, Deanna Troi is in this, Ben Stein, Dexter Holland from The Offspring, Dee Snider, Chris Owen, and if you don't know who Chris Owen is, it's the Shermanator from American Pie. Gilbert Gottfried, Tori Spelling, Dean McDermott, Christopher Knight, LaToya Jackson, James Hong, Kato Kalin, and Al Roker.
Wait, Ben Stiller?
Yeah.
Help me.
No,
Where?
Ben Stein.
Ben Stein.
Ben Stein.
Oh, sorry.
No, not Ben Stiller.
I'm like, I missed that.
No, but you didn't miss Ben Stein. The film had a budget of $3 million with no accolades to speak of. But we got critic scores to talk about. Over Rotten Tomatoes, the film has a tomatometer of 27% with a popcorn meter of 37%. Over at Letterboxd, it sits at 2 stars out of 5 for a 40% score. At IMDb, it sits at 3.5 out of 10 for a 35%. At the Movie Database, it sits at 44%, and at Metacritic has a Metascore of 22%, giving this film an aggravated aggregate of 34.16%. That is only 2% higher than Sharknado 4, which had the lowest score on our aggravated aggregate.
Well, that just figures.
Right?
Ugh.
Like I'm going to put this out there. There was a review on IMDb, and the title of the review said they saved the worst for last. And you know what? I'm going to argue that one because this film does what so many TV shows fail to do: stick the landing. Because, yeah, we're gonna have a good talk about this one. But let's get to the breakdown of this movie. Of course, we start with Ian Ziering as Finn Shepard, our shark-slaying superhero. Your thoughts on him in this one?
Well, didn't he just, like, grow into this role?
Oh, absolutely.
Like, every movie, he just gets better and better, like a fine wine.
You know what? It's funny. I wasn't as big a fan of him in the earlier films, but oh my God.
Well, that's what I'm saying. He owns it. Like, with every single movie, he's having more and more fun with it.
And I think there's something to be said about knowing that this is the last one. There was, for lack of a better term, there was a joy in this role for him. There was a joy in this performance. Like the puns felt a little bit punnier, and the action seemed a little bit more actiony, and the jokes seemed a little bit funnier, and there just seemed to be a big smile in the performance, even when it wasn't on his face. Like there's this, when you think about it, this franchise, by all rights, should not have been as big as it was. There's no way that anything called Sharknado should have a sequel, let alone get to 6 films and be as pop culturally relevant as it was.
And I'm not going to lie, I'm sad. I'm going to put it out there right now. I want more. I'm sad that this is the last.
Don't want more.
Well, they ended it very well.
That's why I don't want more.
But I'm going back to Sharknado 1, and I'm going to watch. This is a big statement, I know. This is my new Harry Potter.
I have broken you so much for you to say that.
I freaking love these movies, and this is my go-to. Like, honestly, if I ever have about 10 hours or an entire day to kill, I'm going back and I'm rewatching this.
And that's the fun thing about this franchise is that, yeah, the first one, as we've talked about before, the first one was just your typical asylum film, as absurd as it is. And then the second one's like, okay, people liked it. Well, we should do that more. And they kind of had a little bit of fun with it. And people jumped in and wanted to be part of the fun. And it just became this roller coaster of pop culture and almost celebrating camp. And that's hard to pull off. Like, there are films that try to be camp. And here's the secret. Here's the secret to camp. Okay, here's the secret to a good B movie. You can't force it. You can't go out of your way to sit there and say, I'm going to write the greatest cult classic ever. No. No film ever enters the zeitgeist with a mission statement to become a cult classic. It just happens. If you try too hard, like we all know, we have seen actors in roles in various films, and it's like, oh, you tried so hard, but you didn't get it. You just know, right? Everyone knows that one person who just tries way too hard at something, and you're like, oh, you're adorable. Go home. Sharknado never, I don't think they set out to be what it became. The first film was what it was. And more and more and more and more people just got it. I said it before. It's the inside joke of cinema. And if you get it, you're going to have fun with it.
Well, that's what I was thinking about Jay and Silent Bob.
Yes.
Right? Like when Kevin Smith first, created these two characters, smoking blunts, hanging outside the quick stop. I'm damn Skippy. He probably didn't think they were going to take off the way they did. And people just got it.
Yeah.
Because it was so honest. It was like you could literally see these two dudes literally just hanging outside of a quick stop, smoking blunts and singing, rapping.
Who smokes the blunts? We smoke the blunts.
And having fun. And that's just so honestly what they would be doing on, any given day.
You take a look at Jay and Silent Bob Strike Back, or even Jay and Silent Bob Reboot, and especially Strike Back, where it's like you have all these actors who were in the various Kevin Smith films make cameos in Jay and Silent Bob Strike Back because, Kevin Smith likes to work with his friends, and that's all good, but it's a joie de vivre, it's a joie de moment, if you will, right? Jay and Silent Bob Strike Back was a celebration of not just these two characters, right? But everything that led up to it. It was a celebration of Clerks, a celebration of Mallrats, of Chasing Amy, of Dogma, like building up till you get to Jay and Silent Bob Strike Back. And it's like, it felt like if Kevin Smith never revisited those characters again after Jay and Silent Bob Strike Back, people would have applauded the moment and said, there we go. That's how you end. Even Clerks 2 would have been a great way to end. Clerks 3 is a gut punch, but I get it.
Mm-hmm.
And Jay and Silent Bob Reboot, it's good. Don't get me wrong. I don't think I enjoyed it as much as Jay and Silent Bob Strike Back, but that's just a personal preference. Same thing with this. This film, this Sharknado, felt like the Jay and Silent Bob Strike Back, where everyone was coming back. And the funny thing is, if you take a look at the cast list, and I'm not talking about like the cameos, I'm not talking about the main stuff, I'm talking about the smaller roles. You had Cassie Serbo's niece in there. You had Ian Ziering's family in there. You had Thunder Levin, who was the writer of the Sharknado films, as a bar patron. You had the director playing the singer of the beach band when they got to like the 50s. This really felt like we're going to go out on our terms, and this is our way to not just thank the fans, but thank the crew and everyone who came along with the entire Sharknado franchise. This isn't a film, it's a celebration.
And I love that. I'm totally here for it.
Yeah. And I think like even when you get to Ian Ziering's, Finn's monologue at the end where he's like toasting everyone in the bar, it's like, there's only one other film I can think of that had such a perfect end to a franchise. Now, should have been a perfect end. But again, I'm talking about Star Trek VI, The Undiscovered Country. And we talked about it on a recent episode of Keep Watch Pass, where the crew of the Enterprise, they save the ambassador, and you have everyone around them clapping at the Federation of Planets, like convention, or what, like, and it felt like a perfect way to end the original Star Trek cast moment in the movies. And then, of course, they did Generations, whatever. They shouldn't have done Generations. It should have just been a Next Generation movie and just move on. This is the perfect bow on that cake. Or on that present. I mean, this is the signed, sealed, and delivered. This is raise your glass, one last round. Ian Ziering nailed the moment.
But I love how it came full circle, too, from the first movie.
Yeah.
Like, they had to have known exactly what they were doing right from the get-go. They had to, because the use of John Hurt's clips, right, to make it all fit together.
To go back to the very beginning, they knew that he had passed away, and of course they wanted to, bookend the film perfectly, and that's the perfect way to do it. The fact that when they end up in kind of quote unquote present day, and they end up on that fishing ship where the whatever deal is going down, which is the very first scene of the first Sharknado film, it's smart writing and smart plotting. And that's the thing. You cannot take a lot of these films, these mockbusters, if you will, not that this is a mockbuster, but it's very much its own kind of entity. But even the mockbusters that the Asylum does, we'll be talking about a few more of those in October. Sorry, Mocktober. But they're not dumb films. You know, you could sit there and shake your head at the CGI or whatever. It's whatever, right? These films, this is kind of why I love the Asylum. I unabashedly love what the Asylum does. They wear their fandom on their sleeves. The Asylum makes films seemingly because they love to make films. And no matter how good or bad the films are, it's like they come from a genuine place of cinema love. At least it feels like that to me. You know, if David Michael Latt from the Asylum ever wants to come on the show and talk about any of these films, open invitation, dude. Come on over. But Sharknado is just a very, very deceptively smart franchise if you know what to look for.
Gatorade is the #1 proven electrolyte blend designed to hydrate better than water. So you can lose more sweat and raise your game. Gatorade, is it in you?
This episode is brought to you by Greenlight. Get this. Adults with financial literacy skills have 82% more wealth than those who don't. From swimming lessons to piano classes, us parents invest in so many things to enrich our kids' lives. But are we investing in their future financial success? With Greenlight, you can teach your kids financial literacy skills like earning, saving, and investing. And this investment costs less than that after-school treat. Start prioritizing their financial education and future today with a risk-free trial at greenlight.com/Spotify. Greenlight.com/Spotify.
This episode is sponsored by Friskies, who would like to tell your cats hi. Now, if that didn't get your cat's attention, there is one thing that always does the trick. Just pour some Friskies crunchy food in the bowl and you'll hear those paws come running. Works every time. With so many Friskies choices, you can always bring your cats running from their secret napping spots. There's always more to explore. See for yourself at friskies.com or visit your local store.
Tara Reid returning, of course, as April Wexler, both in human form and robot head form. Your thoughts on her?
And in many versions
yes.
of April.
In the future, all is April, and April is all.
I loved it. Oh my gosh. You know what? Again, an actress that really grew into the role and definitely understood the assignment. And I think, you know, again, like I said, Finn kept getting better. April kept getting better as well.
Yeah.
And I mean, it had to have been pretty tough because she's playing off of herself or against herself in that scene where she's interacting with, like, there's the two versions.
There's multiple versions of April. Yeah.
Well, yeah, but
would you say there's a plethora of April?
Yes, in this case, there are. But the battle scene was pretty impressive.
Oh, yeah. I know I've kind of poo-pooed on what the previous films had done with April, because, I mean, you know, the first one, you know, Finn and April weren't together, and, you know, you were talking about the side pieces and the tension and all that, but she was still good in it. The second one, it felt like they kind of sidelined her and let, you know, Finn have all the action. The third one, it felt like they kind of sidelined her as they, you know, stuck her in Orlando while everyone else was fighting sharks. The fourth one was better because, of course, now you've got Cyborg Tara Reid. And I think up to that point, the fourth one was her best film. The fifth one, again, she felt a little sidelined as well. This is the best that Tara Reid has been in the franchise, in my opinion, because they got away from absurdly overpowered April, where you had to minimize her usage, otherwise you were going to up your CGI budget. Here, it's like, it's regular April, and that's okay. And I think she was having fun with this one too. Like, it felt like the mood was light as they were filming this.
Absolutely. And I think she had some better script. She had better lines to deliver in this one.
Yeah.
So she was really given the opportunity to shine.
Again, like, it surprises me throughout the franchise that Tara Reid is the second biggest name in this franchise, with Ian Ziering, of course, being the star. But yet it felt like she was third billing at best because they kept on giving more and more and more to Cassie Serbo as Nova, and April felt like the third wheel, even though she's the wife.
And I have to apologize to Nova for ever calling her the, side piece. I stand corrected. You are so much more. You are part of the family.
Yeah, that's right. She is the Hermione of the Sharknado Trinity.
An honorary.
She is Sharkminey, honorary shepherd.
She's an honorary shepherd for sure.
All right. Since we're talking about her, Cassie Serbo returning as Nova, your thoughts?
Again, I really, really started to like her in the last movie.
Yeah, Sharknado 5. Yeah.
And carrying that forward, that intense scene where she wanted to alert her grandfather and change her
history.
reality.
Yeah.
Where, she's yelling back at Finn and saying, you were able to interact with your family. Now it's time for me to save mine, save my grandfather. And it was just like, oh, whoa. Like, again, she is really owning and growing into her role and knowing her place in all of this.
Yeah. Her storyline in this actually kind of hit me really hard because I'm a Doctor Who fan. I love my Doctor Who. And if you go back to the Christopher Eccleston season of Doctor Who, there's an episode in that run where they go back in time and Rose has the ability to stop her father from dying. And, paradox happens, right? Like it's a pivotal moment. She can't change that without bad things happening. And this really kind of felt like that, where like the Doctor was trying to tell Rose that you can't change this moment in reality because it changes everything. Same thing here, right? She's trying to, in her own way, stop her father from going on that boat. Sorry, her grandfather from going on that boat and dying, at the hands or the teeth of a shark. And then Finn's trying to stop her, not because, bad things could happen, because we know bad things can happen when you start messing with time, people, but it would also change her. And I think there's a tug at the heartstrings, right? Because if the future is changed, or at least their past is changed, and Nova is no longer the Nova that he knows, that's going to be tough.
Well, especially if they have to go up against a Sharknado in the future with Nova, who doesn't have the hatred for the sharks. It is it's setting up for a completely different movie.
Yeah.
Or series of movies. However, what I loved was that she tried to send that note through history, and that it was framed, it was on the boat, and that's where her name came from. And it was like, oh my God, what a great full circle there. I love that they did that.
But even the realization, because of course, like things start to go south on the boat, and she realizes that her actions were what caused her grandfather to die. That's like, why you got to put Nova through the ringer, like the emotional ringer that you people do? Like, I recognize Cassie Serbo can handle every single emotion that you throw at her, because really, and I don't think I'm far off in saying this, Ian Ziering and Tara Reid are the stars of this franchise, but Cassie Serbo is like the heart of this franchise. Judah Friedlander returning from the second Sharknado as Brian in this one. Your thoughts on him?
So much fun to see him back, like especially with the baseball bat.
Right? The completely oversized baseball bat.
It was just so perfect that now, first of all, didn't they question why they would have a oversized baseball bat in history when they've got cannons and like swords and other weapons?
Does anyone question why Finn is attacking a Sharknado with a chainsaw? No, you just go with it.
Fair.
Right? There's a lot that just needs to not be questioned about this series. Here's the thing. I like that Judah Friedlander came back, and I feel like they were kind of leaning on Sharknado 2 with a lot of their references because, of course, later on in the film, Mark McGrath comes back, and then you also have Vivica A. Fox come back, right? So it felt like they were really, really leaning on that second film for a lot of their touch points. But then, of course, he changes into someone else during their second, trip through time, and then they just leave him in time because he wants to stay. I'm fine with this. And I say that because you don't want anything or anyone to detract from the Trinity. You don't need to divert the attention from Finn and April and Nova. They are the story. Brian's along for the ride, gets them to a point where they need to get to, leave him where he is, and I think that's the perfect amount of Judah Friedlander in this.
No, but I love, though, how Vivica A. Fox was running for president.
Yes.
In the future, or the past, or where it all started.
Well, wibbly wobbly, timey wimey, right?
Yeah. Forward, back, forward. I don't know.
We watched Doctor Who. It's all good. We understand. But since you mentioned her, Vivica A. Fox is Sky, returning from the second Sharknado.
So great. And I love that she has, laid off Finn and stopped trying to kiss him and stuff.
Yeah. Like,
I'm very protective.
Wow.
Yeah, very protective of,
You're running interference for Finn.
More
for April, I think, but you're running interference.
Someone's got to stand up for April. No, she kicks ass.
Forget wingman. You're like the enforcer, right? Yeah. You're the Dave Semenko to Wayne Gretzky. I get it now. Right?
Stay off my friend's man.
Right. And also, I just dropped a hockey reference, an 80s hockey reference, no less. I have dated myself. But again, I like the fact that much like Judah Friedlander, she comes back in. It's like, oh, hey, Sky's back. And then she's gone. Just enough time for that little hat tip to the previous film, previous Sharknado. And then let's get back to the Trinity, right? This film doesn't allow anything to take away from the focus of the series, which is the three: Finn, April, Nova.
I just love, though, how everyone was so accepting of their reality. They were like, yeah, we died, but we're back in the future or in the past. Like
we are dealing with people.
It's okay.
We are dealing with people who have been fighting a tornado full of sharks and however many versions of those tornadoes that you care to throw at them. I think they're beyond questioning anything in reality at this point. Of course, it's a Sharknado film. So, of course, there are cameos aplenty. So I ask you, cameos that stood out for you.
Ooh, I have been waiting to talk about Tori Spelling. Oh my God, her one line of, didn't we go to high school together?
Right?
Like, total, like, completely self-aware from 90210 days. Love it. I'm all for it.
It's also when you realize that because of the characters that they're playing, that means Tori Spelling is playing a young Cheryl Tiggs, and Dean McDermott is playing a young David Hasselhoff.
Which I can't see. I mean, Tori Spelling being a young
Cheryl Tiggs. Yeah, I can see that.
Young Finn's mom, but I cannot at all see how he turned into David Hasselhoff. He looks nothing like him. Not even a young version.
But that's the cool thing about this franchise is that you can pull in anybody from anyone's past, right? I'm sure had they pulled anyone from the American Pie films, it would have been a good moment for Tara Reid in the series. But I mean, it was a cool cameo. I still think Dee Snider takes the cake as the sheriff in the Wild Wild West.
Oh, huge respect to Dee Snider, but again, it was that line that got me.
Actually, I think the one that really kind of was ahead of, I didn't even recognize Marina Sirtis in this. I thought that was like, once I looked at Marina, I was like, holy crap, that's Marina Sirtis. That's awesome. Neil deGrasse Tyson, ton of fun. Al Roker. God bless Al Roker.
It's going to be a great day. Go ahead and enjoy it.
Not a cloud in the sky, not a storm in sight. Like there was just something genuine about every single Al Roker appearance. Same with Gilbert Gottfried, right?
Mm-hmm.
Between the two of them, Gilbert Gottfried and Al Roker, you just see them having fun with it. And Al Roker getting the last word on the TV about no storms in sight, great weather all the way through, nary a worry in the world. I freaking love Al Roker. I think it felt like he enjoyed what he was doing. Because think about it, right? Here you are, respected national television weatherman. Here's your script. Can you imagine like the first time looking at the script going, wait, I need to say what? And now here he gets the sign off.
Oh, he was probably all over the chance to have fun.
Yeah.
With his fame, with his notability.
Yeah.
Right? It's like this is the first time that, he gets to caution the world about a shark storm.
It's like every time you see Wolf Blitzer in a movie, right? You go back to the second Shazam one where Wolf Blitzer's on the TV talking about what is it, the wherever they are, right? The calamity or whatever it is, like the Philadelphia fiasco, that's what it is, right? Wolf Blitzer has to take a look at some of these scripts going, all right, I'm going to say this, and I can't believe it's coming into my mouth, but here we are. But Wolf Blitzer just seems like a gem. Al Roker seems like a gem as well.
What was kind of like in the second one, that talk show that that they escaped from, ran away during the filming.
Yeah. Again, like all of those kind of cameos. And I recognize because, it's the NBC morning show. There was a little bit of corporate synergy because, of course, the Sci-Fi Network, which aired the Sharknado films, is owned by NBC Universal. So, I mean, in a situation like that, and in a franchise like this, it works. It works. So, I mean, how many Xfinity signs did you see throughout the entire Sharknado series? I think this might have been the only one without it. And it's like, all right, let's advertise the hell out of it all. But you know what? Sharknado's kind of a commercial anyways, so go with it. I mentioned before that this film pulled the curtain down on a franchise like no other TV show has been able to do before. Like, it's really hard to end a TV series. Like, it's the last season. You've got the last season. I mean, a lot of TV shows, they don't know it's their last season. They just end the season and then that's it, right? And some of them, they end on a cliffhanger. I'm still waiting on you, Deadly Class, to come back and finish. I'm not okay, but I'm not okay.
It's okay. Scrubs is coming back.
Scrubs is coming back. I think the only show, no, there's two, maybe three. I'm going to put a list here of shows that stuck the landing. MASH stuck the landing. Cheers stuck the landing. The Good Place stuck the landing. I really can't think of any other franchise.
I think Night Court did.
I don't even remember the last episode of Night Court.
I'm pretty sure it was a big adieu. It was a fond farewell.
I mean, Star Trek The Next Generation, they stuck the landing as well. But it's one of those things where
Friends?
I don't, what's funny? I've watched Friends, but I never actually sat and binged Friends. Like, I think I've watched like some shows, but I wouldn't be able to tell you what season they were in or anything like that.
Oh, How I Met Your Mother.
No.
They finally came around.
They came around, but the mother died.
Well,
like, here's the mother finally, yay, it's all good. And then she died. Like, what?
Did not see that coming.
Let me take your heart out. Your beating heart. I'm going to watch it start to go. Well, time to shack up with Robin. What? Here I am with this blue trumpet again. You're beating heart. You're no longer beating heart. My other hand. You did. You went there. You brought that one up.
Sorry. Didn't know it'd be so scarring.
I mean, The Good Place. God damn, The Good Place. You guys got me. You guys got me with that final show. But even you said, kind of choked up a little bit watching the end of this. Because, of course, we just invested a lot of time into this franchise. More time than any sane person should. But we never claimed to be sane. And that entire scene in the bar, it's smile-inducing. And if you are at all nostalgic for this franchise, that scene is probably the whole reason why. Like, there are people from the very first Sharknado who were like complete Team Shepherd all the way through. And what a better way to just call it a day. Other movie franchises, serious or silly, could take notes and lessons for how Sharknado finally put a close on it. Now, I know someday there's going to be another Sharknado because sleeping sharks never lie. But I don't want there to be. I want this to be the perfectly gift-wrapped, bow on top gift to the world. Because I think anything that comes after this is just going to pale in comparison because it's not going to be the Shepherds.
I don't know. I'm team I want more. I want more Sharknado. I want to see them come back. I want to see, like, where else they're going to go with this. They have been all over the world and all over time. I want more.
The thing is, if you want more, I'm sure the kids are going to look very different because they'll just change actors again.
Well, they always do look different.
Right?
I mean, how many versions of Max have we seen?
We have had 2 Matts. We've had 2 daughters. We've had a couple of different Gills, multiple Gills, one including Dolph Lundgren. It's hard to keep track, people. It's hard to keep track. But it's I don't know if I want. I mean, if you brought back Ryan Newman and basically made like the next generation, or if you brought back Maciel Alusha to have like Gemini take on her thing, but I don't know if it would have the heart. And that's nothing against Ryan Newman or Maciel Alusha. Nothing against them at all. The franchise ended on a championship. Don't come back. Let us enjoy that fleeting moment in time when, for some reason, the world was Team Sharknado.
In the meantime, I'll just have to go back and rewatch.
Now, admittedly, if the Asylum ever comes out and says, we're bringing Sharknado to the theaters, yeah, we're going.
Oh, wouldn't that be great?
I want an all-day Sharknado in the theater fest.
Oh.
Just make it happen. You hear that, guys? You hear that, Asylum? Make that happen. Now,
my bum is numb just thinking of it.
Last week, I said I was going to ask you a question. So I'm going to rework it a little bit here. Take the 6 Sharknado films. From best to worst, how would you rank them?
I knew this was coming.
Mm-hmm.
I studied for this exam.
Okay.
Sharknado 4.
Okay. As the best.
As the best. And then 1.
Okay.
And then 6.
Okay.
And 2 and 3 and 5 are kind of like 4th place, if I can do that.
I can see that.
Like, I don't know, the whole, when they went to Washington when he was defending the White House.
See, I
when they went
that
to
one.
England and actually all around the world.
See, I think I would put it as 3, 6, 5, 4, 1, 2.
Yikes. See, I maintain, and I said this the last week's show, I love 4. 4 is my favorite, bar none. That was the easy pick.
See, the problem for me, and I have no problem saying 2 is my least favorite.
Okay.
But
I can agree with that.
Tommy Davidson ruined 4 for me. I just couldn't get over him.
But 4 was so fun. I'm surprised at you because the 4th Awakens, the Star Wars reference.
But you also have some guy making noises in a squirrel suit jumping out of a plane.
See, I didn't hate him as much as you did.
Yeah, but I did.
I know.
I did. And I'm sorry, but no. 4 is in my bottom 3. 2 is my least favorite. 3 I freaking loved. Either way, it's been a fun as hell ride. But we're still talking about the Last Sharknado, the final one. Who is your MVP of Sharknado 6? The Last Sharknado, it's about time.
Let's recap, because going back to our first record,
Which was Sharknado 3.
For Sharknado 3, I chose the baby. I chose young Gil, being born of a shark.
Yes.
And then I voted for Finn, because, of course. And then Nova. So I have to conclude our Shark Month, our Sharknado, giving props and adoration to April, because I really feel that Tara Reid brought it this movie.
She was the best she's ever been in this series, in this film. I fully and wholeheartedly agree, but she's not my MVP. So let me recap. In 3, I gave my MVP to Nova, Cassie Serbo. And then 4, I gave it to Ian Ziering. And then 5, I gave it to Cassie Serbo again. And I'm sticking with my pattern. I'm going with Ian Ziering for this one, because Finn just sealed the deal on every scene he was in, whether it was bad puns or goofy action or bad CGI sliding down a dinosaur tail like he's in the Flintstones. Just sheer silly perfection. Gary, thank you so much for going down Sharknado Road. And dear listeners, thank you guys for listening to us talk about Sharknado for 4 straight weeks. You gluttons of punishment. Thank you all for tuning in. But until next time, you guys know the drill. If there's a movie out there that you think is unfairly maligned or is so bad that there is no way in time travel that we can find anything good to say about it, hit us up on social media at NotThatBadcast, or go to our website at notthatbadcast.com. And while you're there, make sure you stay tuned, because very soon our Grading on a Curve special is right around the corner, and you do not want to miss that one. Until next time, she's Carrie, I'm Jay. You guys are awesome. This is It's Not That Bad, proud member of the Pantheon Podcast Network. Semper Paratus, everybody. Take care.